beautiful people. Very happy to make this video because it's the first time in 2 weeks that I'm out walking again. I'm not sure if you read my last blog post, but there was a little forced stop vacation a couple of weeks ago. I ripped my calf, my left calf, and it's been a good recovery. First week totally resting at home. Let me tell you, that was kind of difficult to handle the quietness, but it was a good opportunity to think about a lot of things, so it was very good. The second week, little by little, and after a couple more exams, I noticed that things were going the right way, so I'm very happy to tell you that yeah, I'm back on walking and it feels really good. Oh, I miss this. And during this basically 2 weeks and a bit of rest, one of the things that I enjoyed the most was to read, and I came across 2 beautiful stories that I wanted to share with you because I think they are really, really nice. One was more of a revising, because I knew the story and actually it's very inspiring, and the other one was a totally new, very short but very nice. And I also want to give you some news about how the book of walking mentorship is going, because yes, during these weeks there was some more writing, so I was asking for it, so I got it. So the first story, actually, it's something that I will write a little more about it in a future blog post. It's about the Peace Pilgrim. Maybe you heard of it. Talking about a lady in the 50s and 60s and 70s, so quite a long time ago, in United States. This was a lady that basically devoted all her life to walk non-stop across the country, and that's a pretty big country, to raise awareness for peace in the world. I would say that this was one of the biggest inspirations I ever remember to have in my life, because what I found more incredible about it, it's the fact that the Peace Pilgrim walked without any money for more than 30 years. She basically would stay whenever was possible, and she would eat whatever was available or people were giving her. If you want to dig into it, I definitely advise you to take a look at the Peace Pilgrim. It's extremely inspiring, and it gives you a lot of hope, I would say, when we are facing difficulties, and God, we are facing a lot of challenges at the moment. But as I told you, this is something that I will write a little bit more about it in maybe some weeks from now. And the second story is a little bit different. It's about a phone call. I heard this story and I found it just incredible, because quite often we tend to believe that there's so much darkness. People are not willing to help others unless there is some interest on it. And this is a story about a lady. She's in the probably early 30s. She had a very, very, very difficult life. She totally detoured out of a good path. She ended up having drugs addiction, married or living with someone with addiction as well, and being a young mother. So there's a lot of challenges in the life of this lady, and she broke away from her family and her mother tried many times to bring her somehow back to make sense out of her life. And one day she was so desperate. I think she was waiting for whatever she was addicted to. The husband or boyfriend went out to get it. She was feeling totally desperate, probably, and she thought about stopping the whole thing there, so probably committing suicide. And but at the same time, she wanted to, whatever was possible, she wanted to get out of that situation. And she found a piece of paper with a phone number of a therapist, I believe, that her mother placed in her purse some time ago. And she quite often thought about destroying, throw away the paper, but she always kept it somehow. And I believe it was pretty late in the evening, and she looked at the paper. There was a phone number and the name of the therapist, and she called. And when she called the therapist, which actually, as I mentioned, was very late, the person answered and listened to her non-stop. And what I found most incredible is that she was probably in such need of being heard that she talked until the first hours of the next day. So they were on the phone for many hours. And this person on the other side of the line basically listened, I guess gave some advices, but mainly listened. And just by doing that, this lady that was on the verge of collapse felt the opportunity of redemption over this long period of the call. And when they finished the conversation, she made the decision to change for good a few things in her life, and which actually she did. And I believe a couple of days later, she decided to call again the therapist and to thank for the time and the generosity to listen to her for such a long time without asking anything in return. And when she called again, that same number, well, the person on the other side of the line listened and then just said, look, I wanted to tell you that from the very first moment, but it just didn't seem right because you really need to talk. Regarding that number that you dialed was the wrong number. So actually, she didn't call the therapist, she called someone else, absolutely random, that listened to this lady for hours and hours, and out of pure generosity to help, basically listening, made such an impact. And this lady shared this story, and fast forwarding, I think 20 years or 30 years, she basically shared that the little kid that she was a mother of just graduated with honors from I believe Harvard, from Ivy League school, with tremendous achievements academically and sports as well. And she was very proud of that. But the biggest lesson, I think, from this phone call is the fact that, as I said before, in these times of so much misfeelings and confusion, and I would say darkness as well, there's always this hope that people just like you and me actually will come across other people that are absolutely grandiose, brilliant in their generosity and willingness to keep our humanity up front. So It's an interesting story, the phone call. And finally, I just want to tell you that I believe that the first draft of the book is pretty much done. I think it's roughly about 200 pages, 200 something, so maybe still a little bit too big, and I will start fine-tuning in the coming days. And my objective is to share with you, my Patreon supporters, a draft of one of the chapters, because I really wanted to give you a little taste of what is being done, and it's never enough to thank you for your support. It's been very challenging, especially since March, when all our activities basically ceased because it was not possible to be outside doing walking mentorship programs. Fortunately, we are back on the road. We had the parents and kids program in the beginning of August, and we'll continue, hopefully step by step, doing what we love the most, and being with people outside. So that's my purpose, that in the coming days I will share with you a draft chapter from the book. And obviously I wish you that you continue all the best and keep walking with me.